looking at me like I'm absolutely crazy. Everybody's looking. I'm going with the traffic or against the traffic here, and everybody's looking at me in their cars. They're like, what the heck? Guy on a scooter?
Last week, I shared with you guys my full review of the brand new Hiboy NEX3 Electric Scooter. In more ways than one, this thing was part of the reason why I went into 2021 feeling so good. In this weird, wild world that we're living in, the NEX3 came through at a time when, honestly, I'll admit, I needed it most. I needed to satisfy that craving to do something new, you know, get an adrenaline rush, a thrill, and an electric scooter, it's perfect for that. At its price point, the NEX3 is without a doubt one of the best bang for your buck e-scooters on the market today. I've been riding it for almost a month now, and I still can't believe how well this thing performs. In today's video, I'm going to be running through more of the overall performance of this e-scooter, as well as heading out to the streets for a real-world range test. You know, to test the battery life, satisfy that need for adventure, and get that adrenaline rush that I was talking about. So let's hop to it. What is up, my friends? It's Ray back here, and this video is unlike anything that you've ever seen from me before. It's ambitious, it's crazy, it's me going out on an electric scooter until the battery dies. Woohoo! Before we get out there though, there are a few performance related questions that I saw in the comments of my full review that I dropped last week, and I wanted to dive a little more into those. Hill tests, the braking system, the lighting system, and then we'll get outside to the much anticipated range test. So hills, how well does the NEX3 conquer hills? Hiboy rates the NEX3 at being able to conquer hills up to 15% with ease. During my time with it out on the roads, I never had an issue with it going up small hills and even gradual, non-steep, smooth inclines. If you live in a hilly area, you will likely need to hop off and manually roll the NEX3 up hills for your safety, but small hills, bumps, and even gradual inclines, they are not a problem at all for this scooter, especially if you head into them with some speed. As far as the brakes go, the dual braking system on the NEX3 is very impressive. There wasn't a time where I wasn't able to stop on a dime or slow down to avoid an obstacle. The left brake is the ABS electronic brake, which slows things down, and the right completely stops the scooter. The right is definitely the stronger brake of the two, but the two work very well together. The brakes that Hiboy used here are top notch, and they're about as good as you can get on a personal mobile device like this. Again, yet another reason to be impressed with what Hiboy did with the NEX3 for the price. I keep telling you guys that this thing is the best bang for your buck e-scooter on the market today, and I am not kidding. It is really that good. And lastly, the one final thing I didn't talk too much about in my full review are the front and back LED lights. Hiboy used powerful LEDs here on the NEX3 to ensure that you're able to comfortably see and stay safe in low light conditions. The front light is of course the one that you're going to be using most, and as you guys can see, this light is incredibly bright. When I shine it over my fence, it even illuminates the neighbor's trees. It's pretty wild. What's neat is that this can also be angled and locked into place, so if you want to point it a little more towards the ground to look out for potholes, you can do that. If you want to point it a little forward so you can see more of what's in front of you, you can also do that as well. Alright, so with that said, let me gear up, let's get outside, and we'll take this thing for a range test. Wish me luck. Zoom!
Past my old high school now. What's up, guys? It's pretty cold out here in New Jersey today. It's about 35-40 degrees, I would say. But I'm out here range testing, being ambitious and range testing the Hiboy NEX3. This thing is rated at 12 to 16 miles on a full charge. So I really want to push it. I want to give that real world test, you know, just see how far I can make it. I'm going up hills, I'm going up bumpy streets, I'm doing a traditional commute here. I'm not necessarily doing something that's, you know, totally smooth. I'm not pushing it to 16 or 18 miles per hour. Whoa, I just hit a pothole. I'm not pushing it that far, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna cruise, just go, you know, do a nice little commute on the NEX3, and we'll see how far we can make it. Definitely not as cool as that guy. So So we made it to our destination here, which is a park about 8 to 10 miles from my house. As you guys saw, it was bumpy roads, it was up hills, it was all these different things that I, tackled just to get here. Sidewalks weren't the best, so I did take the roads the majority of the way, but sometimes I had to go on the sidewalk and things like that when the roads were very busy. But I made it to my destination here with 2 cells of battery left. So I'm not certain I'll be able to make it all the way home. I'm about 8 to 10 miles. I'm gonna give you guys an exact number when I get home. So I'm gonna measure everything on Google Maps, the route I took and everything like that. If this thing had a tripometer, it would be perfect. Then I could measure battery life, right on the scooter, but I can't do that. So when I get home, I'll measure that for you guys. And yeah, we'll see how far I can make it back home and get a ride, because I asked for a ride just in case. I have somebody on standby. And yeah, let's finish up this test. Here we go, making the truck home. We got 2 cells of battery left. I don't think I'm gonna make it. So I gotta tell you guys, what I'm doing here, it's very, very ambitious. I don't know if there's gonna be a use case where someone's actually gonna need to ride 15 to 16 miles on a scooter, I would say for a last mile device, this is awesome for fun riding. It's awesome, but if you're gonna plan to commute on a scooter for 15 or 16 miles, wow, that's gonna be tough. Low on juice, so I think the max it's looking at now is 11 miles per hour. Yeah, we're stopping, man. We're stopping. We're not getting much juice. I'm slowing down. I'm hitting the throttle full force, and I can't go above 7, 6. Oh gosh, we're done. I think this is the end of the line. It's still going.
It doesn't fit long ways.
Oh.
The other way, so hopefully you'll fit next to it.
All right, we're done. Saved by the ride.
As usual.
Saved by the ride.
Alrighty folks, so I am back from the range test. I wanted to condense that journey down to just a few minutes because I didn't want you guys to get bored of seeing my face for me just driving around for 2 hours. That's pretty long, but my goodness, this thing is the thrill, the adrenaline rush, the thing that I was looking for. This is so much fun. The NEX3 scooter, guys, man, oh man, it is just such a blast to ride. Its performance, along with battery life and overall durability, truly make it feel like a scooter that should be more than its asking price. It's a top-of-the-line, high-quality e-scooter that comes in at a fraction of the cost of many others out there. So during my range test, I made it just about 12 miles from start to finish. There was still some juice left in it when I was picked up, but at that point, I wasn't going any faster than 5 or 6 miles per hour, and it just kept dropping. So in that case, it was actually faster for me to just pedal manually, which would have been a struggle to make it all the way home. I took the scooter out on the road at about 12:15, and I popped it in my dad's trunk at almost exactly 2:15. Shout out to my dad, by the way, for being on standby for picking me up. This test wouldn't have been possible without that. I mean, it would have been, but there would have been a lot more effort in getting all the way home. So about 12 miles of range in 2 hours nonstop out on the road. That's pretty darn good. Hiboy rates the NEX3 at 12 to 16 miles of range, and even though I got on the lower end of that, it was completely understandable when I was out there. This was not a smooth commute by any means necessary. I was on bumpy roads, smooth roads, sidewalks, up some hills, just a variety of different surfaces, and even though it handled all of those with ease, that does have an impact on the range and the battery life. If you live in an area with smooth, flat pavement, you're definitely going to be able to snag more juice out of this thing. When you ride something like this though, especially if you're commuting, you do have to be mindful and plan out your routes more so than you do with a car. Everything from the environment to the weather to the street conditions, everything has an impact on the range and the battery life. So you do have to be mindful of that. I fully believe if I didn't do the back trails, if I didn't almost go to the next town over, if I just went to the park, from my house to the park, I would have easily been able to make it back home because that was under 10 miles. So that maybe would have been 5-6 miles from my house to the park and then 5-6 miles back from the park to my house. I fully believe I would have been able to make it. In that commuting range, you really don't have to worry about bringing a charger with you. But if you do more than that, you're going to want to make sure that you have your charger with you and have a way to charge the scooter at your destination. In that case, you'll have no problem making it back home. Overall, if it was not obvious already, I am very impressed with the NEX3. At its price point, this thing delivers so much more than you would ever expect for a scooter of this price. The NEX3 gets my stamp of approval. It's a steal of a deal that I cannot help but recommend to anyone who is looking for a solid electric scooter, whether that be for commuting short distances or just going out to have some fun. This thing is a blast.
Anywho, that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did and you liked what you saw, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button because it always helps out the channel. And until the next one, I'll catch you guys later. Peace!